Okay, it's here. We got a very special Novo Bonbon cheap toy in, all the way from Canada. Cannot wait. This is truly a dream come true. Got the guys out over here. Got the sunshines on the top. We should be adding one right there. Also over here, I have all the Lynn's out. I did plan to do like a sorting thing. But I think I'm going to do that in a second video. So this is just going to be the reveal. It's not going to be very long at all. So if you have a minute, let's see this for the very first time. And then tomorrow I'll be back for a much longer kind of presentation, if you will, where we get all these out. So anyway, let's get in here and see what a $2,000 cheap toy looks like. Yeah, this is the most expensive cheap toy of all time. Give me 1 second to figure this out. Yeah, so if you don't know about cheap toys, these were made in the 1980s by Topps, and after a while they produced them for other countries, namely the UK and then Canada. The Canadian ones are the rarest by far. Now the British ones are nothing to skip over either, but the Canadian ones are super, super rare. Anyway, this is what it looks like inside. Looks like they really packed it very well. Thank you for that. I saw where the seller joined our group today. I gave him a heads up that I was going to open this. Yeah, so I'm going to do the bigger presentation tomorrow. So a little change of plans there. This is just, again, going to be the reveal. Okay, this toy is a one of one, meaning there's not another one known to exist. There's a bunch on this one particular display that's one of one as well. The ones I want us to focus on are the yellow ones. The yellow ones are very special. We call them sunshines. And this is the first appearance of Thin Lynn and Sunshine. So here we go. Yeah, when this thing came on the market, I know myself and a lot of people, my heart just dropped because I realized, it's in there. There it is. I realized it was going to be a long 7-day auction, and that was a brutal, brutal auction. I think the worst I ever endured in my entire collecting career. Oh my God. I'm going to shut up and just open this, okay? And just so I have a good experience. It's what dreams are made from. I mean, you look for something for 2 decades of your life, every day, every fucking night. You grind, you beat the pavement, you grind everything you got. And then on a random fucking Tuesday, it just appears. It's just amazing. Let's go ahead and put it in place. Here we go. She's not going to stand very well. Lynn's don't stand very well. Anyway, she's going to fall a little bit. I will show you this before I let you go. Again, I'm going to come back tomorrow for the big reveal. By the way, this is the original box art, if you didn't know. I got the old Series 2 box up here. I got the, the goat collection. Also, we need to look at the goat chain. Let's do this. Let me tell you what that is. This is the first time it's ever been done, so we're going to end right here. Let me tell you what the goat chain is. This isn't going to cooperate. I don't think it's going to keep falling. Okay, so this is the first time in history that all 5 super rares of one character has ever been found. So to make a goat chain, you would have to have all 5 super rares, meaning you would have to have magenta. You would have to have, well, let's save her for last, right? You'd have to have Novo Red floater. Wow. You would have to have Novo Green floater. You would have to have Novo Blue floater. And you would have to have the Sunshine. First time in the history of all 5 super rares have ever been together in one chain. So it's historic in that regard. I don't want to get too far on a tangent here, but just so you know, like the next closest one I personally have, I am very close to an Atom Bomb goat chain. By the way, even though we now have Sunshine Thin Lynn, Atom Bomb is still the greatest cheap toy of all time. Nothing's going to ever beat Sunshine Atom Bomb. But this is a close second. And if we ever find Thin Lynn, if we ever find Alice Island and Sunshine, that's going to be one of the top ones as well. But nothing's ever going to beat Atom Bomb. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Here we go. Thank God I did not cry. I actually, when I won this, I did maybe got a little misty-eyed there, but that was last week. It was such a long, grueling week, and I'd made some jokes along the way. They were sort of half jokes of, me barely getting out of bed, and it was true, but I was kind of joking at the same time. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was grueling, but yeah, $2,000 cheap toy, great. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Happy to finally have at least one of my cheap toy chains completed. And tomorrow I'll be back for a more formal demonstration where we put together this. I had this made 15 years ago for my Thin Lynn chain, and finally it deserves to be filled, and you'll get to see that completed. This is a expensive case I had made for this, but I prepared for it 15 years ago, so pretty crazy. And I'll tell you some more about cheap toys as well. And there's a bunch we can talk about tomorrow, but let's save that and just let this today be all about, well, she's home. God, it just looks right in my hand, doesn't it? I know I've done so many fucking videos, and everyone knows my hands from all these thousands of videos I've done, and just see the Sunshine. I just tell you, looking through the phone, it just this is where it belongs. And of course I have the other ones. This is a 1 of 1, if you didn't know. This is a 1 of 1. This is a 1 of 2. This is a 1 of 2. This happens to be a 1 of 1. So that's why I really needed to buy this. Plus, in the past, I've had people outbid me so they could hold it over my head and overcharge and torment me. So I could not let this one get past me. Plus, it's my favorite character in my favorite color, so obviously it was always going to end up here. Plus, I put $5,000 on the auction, so I was never going to lose it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I am getting a little, maybe a little emotional a little bit. But thank you to everyone. Thank you for supporting that week. It was rough, really bad. And I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll get this all lined up. We'll get this situated in the new case. This is the first time we've ever had the goat chain completed. So goat chain. We'll talk about all this other shit that I have out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? And Russ Fan out one more time. Sunshine Thin Lynn in Georgia.